took care of him. Even when the man left, he gave it to the person, to take care of him. And Jesus asked him who was his neighbor. Then, the lawyer answered right, and then Jesus said, you do the same. So in other words, just how faith should operate. It's not just you saying you got something, you got it, and you ain't got no works, nothing to show for it. How y'all doing out there again? Freddie calls the chicken in. Hope everything going well with everybody out there. Hope everybody being safe. A lot of people, especially a lot of younger people, it seems like have a tendency in this day and time to rebel against authority. But I just want to put this out there. People who got the know-how and been studying the body and how viruses affect the body, you should listen to them. If you feel that you healthy and everything, and feel that you can fight things off, not everybody is in that same situation. So a lot of elderly people and some, real young people who got weak immune systems, can't fight off certain things like, a healthy person can, if you don't much want to do it for yourself, I can handle anything, think about other people who cannot handle certain things, think about other people, and that should, that'll probably check you a little bit, do it for somebody else, and don't be selfish, and all about you. Think about other people. But anyway, man, today I was pressed into my spirit, since normally on fourth Sundays, you get a video or either me preaching in an actual church setting or somebody else, but my ministry that I go to, we have took precautions, and like I said, we do believe, you obey God, but also you should obey the law of the land too, especially with this situation that's going on worldwide, not just in the U.S., but worldwide. A lot of people are losing their lives, because of this virus, and like I say, God give man knowledge and on things, and, if they say you need to be cautious, you need to be cautious, and like I say, if you feel that you're strong, think about somebody else who, like I say, immune system may be low, and you can affect them, hurt them if you got it. Your body may be strong enough to fight off this coronavirus, or the flu or things like that. Maybe your system may be strong enough, and you don't feel no effects, but you think about other people, especially older people. And you got parents that in their late 60s and older parents, think about them, call, and like I say, check on them, but, it being that you can't probably go around them, but like I say, think about it, think about other people. But anyway, since you ain't gonna get a normal video that you normally catch on my channel, I want to just give you some words still. What the Lord gave me that I would have gave. But like I said, we're taking precautions. A lot of ministries are closed down because, but thank God we was able to still have service today. Our ministry is small. So, and we got 3 buildings, that we can split off to, for the saints that live in different places. We got 3 buildings in our ministry, and they are big enough that we can actually separate, when they say social distancing, we can actually do that. Because like I say, our church, our extra body, the people in the church, we are just small enough so we can do that. But you still be able to get the word from us, do check out the Lizella Pentecostal Church. It's pretty much that on all the social medias, Facebook, the Lizella Pentecostal Church. We also have a YouTube channel, do check that out, the Lizella Pentecostal Church, which I film, thank God I was given the opportunity to film, and help my skills out for editing and everything, do check out all us on Twitter, Facebook, and like I said, YouTube, the Lizella Pentecostal Church. But anyway, this is the word I want to give to y'all today. If I would have did it today, this is what I would have gave. It comes from James, the second chapter. I'm going to start at the 14th verse. James, in his writing to the people, he was the one that said, if any man lack wisdom, that he should ask God for it. And God don't hold back. He'll give you what you need. And God don't have no respect to person. Now, certain people may do, but God don't. We all, those who will obey him and, and believe in him and do his will, God won't hold them back from us. So, but anyway, James, the second chapter, I'm going to start at the 14th verse, and I'm going to try to read up to 26, depending on how long this video. I don't want to make the video too long. Everybody, attention span is short. I sometimes have a short attention span, but anyway, I'm going to get to reading, and let God have his way. James 2:14. What doeth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he have faith and have not works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warm and filled, notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doth it profit? Even so faith, if it have not works, is dead, being alone. In other words, I think about the story of the Good Samaritan, when this lawyer was talking to Jesus, and the lawyer asked him who his neighbor, and the lawyer wanted to justify himself, and he said, and who is my neighbor? And Jesus gave the story we call the Good Samaritan story, or, a priest, first I'm going to begin, this man was on his way, he got to a city and he got beat, robbed, left for half dead, a church person, two church people came, and they looked, but they ain't do nothing for the man, the priest and the Levite. But the Good Samaritan came along, and he gave the man assistance, and bound his wounds up and took him to an inn and took care of him. Even when the man left, he gave it to the person, to take care of him, and Jesus asked him who was his neighbor. Then, the lawyer answered right, and then Jesus said, you do the same. So in other words, just how faith should operate. It's not just you saying you got something, you got it, and you ain't got no works, nothing to show for it. I think about it with anything, you can't just say you want a job or anything, or build a relationship with anybody, or even with God, without working, having some works, or showing that you want to build something, or like I say, or like with your studies in the natural, you want a bachelor degree, but if you ain't willing to put the time in, the work, to go to class, and the biggest thing, the most of your work gonna be at the house. That's where, even with your relationship with Christ, you go to church, but you should have more work at the house. We go to church once a week, or sometimes twice a week, some a little bit more, but like all those other days, you gotta be still in the word, studying, to want to keep going higher and higher. Just like going to work, you want a nice size check, you're going to have to put the work in. You got to put your 40 hours in. If you have shown the work, you ain't going to get no pay, and after a while, even if you get leave and stuff, you're going to eat it up. So you got to work, what I'm saying, if you want to get paid for anything or build a relationship or anything. So I'm going to keep on going. 18th verse. Yea, man may say thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. Thou believest that there is one God, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. In other words, that's just believing, that you just at a point of a a devil. In other words, the devils believe. The devils even know where they're going after, Jesus come back. They even know that. I also think about when Jesus had met these two men, met Jesus, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John also have encounters where a man, these were possessed with the devils, but in this particular passage, they came to Jesus and said, "Or did I come to torment us before time?" So they know where they're going. The enemy knows where they're going. He's trying to get you out of your reward from the Lord. So that's why we believers of Christ, we put out the word and hopefully that we can sway somebody, to give God a chance with their life. But anyway, 20th verse. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect. So we know the story of Abraham, how he prayed to God that he wanted a child. And when he finally got the child, it came to a place where God tested him, allowed, to go offer up Isaac on the altar. And so he got everything and took this journey, and when it came to time, when they had built up the altar and everything, his son said, "Where's the say? We got everything, but where's the sacrifice?" Not knowing that he was the sacrifice, and so forth. He had tied his son down and get ready to sacrifice him, before an angel came out and said, "Don't do the lad no harm, because there's a ram in the thicket." So, and the thing about Abraham, he said the Lord will provide the sacrifice, and he did. So it took him working. You can't just say something without doing it. You can't get that in life without putting some work towards it. You see the people who got successful businesses, they didn't just they said they want it, but they have to also put the work in, and then don't just fall in your lap with anything. You got to put some work in it, work into it. A lot of people that see the end result of something, and think that is easy, but it ain't always that. You got to put in some man hours, and some sacrifice some things, to get where you want with your relationship with God, and also even in the natural for your life. You got to put the time in, build relationships and, maintain relationships. And like I say, in the Christian walk, you got to maintain that relationship with God. Even when tough times come, we have to put our trust into him, that he's going to provide and he's going to supply all our needs, according to his riches and glory. So I'm going to keep on going. 23rd verse. And the scripture was fulfilled, which said, Abraham believed God, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of God. Ye see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only. Likewise, also was not Rahab the harlot justified by works, when she had received the messengers and had sent them out another way. And if you read the first 5 books of Joshua, you'll see that, when Joshua sent out spies to search out Jericho, God had gave them the land, that was their land, and when they got there, they went into Rahab's house. She received them, and the king of Jericho got word that these 2 men was coming into their country, so he sent out people to get them, but Rahab gave him cover. I put it that way. I like to say it in that way, cover, and told the men they had went out this way, to keep them safe, because like I said, those people that got them, they would have killed them. And, you know, but, you know, she did. The only thing she asked, you know, once they was in safety, that when they came into them, that, you know, save her and her family, you know, and so forth. You know the rest of that story. The wall of Jericho falling flat, you know, and her family was saved. So it wasn't just, like I say, her works saved her, you know, not just. And also she believed them, you know, she asked them to get their word. You know, they did, and they gave them her word, you know, and they did exactly what she asked, and, you know, she was safe. So it's all about working for what you want. And like I said, you just can't just believe, you know, and think, like I say, everything's going to fall in your lap. That's just not how it works. You know, it just not, even with the Lord, it just ain't how the works, you know. Even asking something, when you ask for something, you got to still, you know, show that what you're asking for, you know, to get it. So just like Jesus said in a lot of passages, that by your faith be it done unto you. And like all those people, even those who wanted of the household of Israel, they got what they wanted from the Lord because of their faith and their willingness to keep pushing for. I think about the lady who had an issue of blood for 12 long years. You know, she had spent all she had, you know, trying to get well, but she had said within herself, if I can just touch the hem of his garment, you know, and she had to put some work in. She probably already weak, you know, with a blood issue, trying to get between all these people who, you know, throwing to Christ, and, you know, to get, because they know if they came around Christ, they're going to get something. They're going to get healed or anything. But she pushed her way in, and she got what she wanted. It took some work. And you can imagine that, you know, just like you see a lot of people in a grocery store, you know, trying to get their stuff, you know. Think about that in the natural, you know, or whatever, get that last piece of tissue, you know. They struggling, you know, pushing their way, probably shoving and doing some everything to get that roll of tissue, you know. You know, I think about that, you know, they don't want to get in the bathroom and they ain't got no toilet paper, you know. Oh, Lord, you know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I just want to give y'all something that you can understand, you know, from a natural standpoint. But let me read this last verse. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. And we know soon that breath leaves your body, you know, and that's it. You're gone. So it's just as simple how faith works. You know, faith by itself, faith without works, you think of it as a body, as a natural body, once with no works. Or just like in the natural, we lose that last breath gone, that heart stops. That's it. But long as that spirit is in that body, you got to move with it. So think of faith as a body, you know. But you got to have work. Everything got to be working, just like, or everything in your body, all the organs. There's so much stuff to keep us going. Like right now, me moving, everything, my brain, everything else moving. So you got to have. Everything is working, so you know what all the things that's working in your body. So you think of faith in that way. Think of faith as a body. So you got to be working. You can't just be saying something. My heart can't just say I'm the heart. It got to be pumping. I hope you want to get what I'm saying. You know, me. My eyes got to be working for me to read this. You know, they can't just say I'm the eyes. You know, but anyway, man. I just want to leave that with y'all, what God gave me this week. You know, I was pressed in my spirit to do something, you know, give the word, because I normally would do it on a fourth Sunday, you know, like I say, or somebody else would preach on a fourth Sunday. But I just want to give y'all some word, you know, if you know, to help, you know, that's what the word got a lack of, is the word. You know, people just need to turn to God and, you know, and pray. You know, and seek God's face, as 2 Chronicles 7:14, I think that's what it is. And just seek God's face. And he said he was going to bring the healing. You know, so anyway, I hope you're encouraged by this little word, you know, the Lord gave me. And like I said again, you know, I hope y'all just be safe. You know, don't rebel. against what people saying, the officials saying, if not, if anything, like I say, think about other people besides just yourself, and like I say, and be safe. They say to be social distancing and wash your hands and try to keep your hygiene straight. Always do that. Because like I say, you could be helping somebody else. You may be fine and you'll probably never get it. You probably even got the virus and it probably not going to affect you. It probably won't because your immune system is strong enough to fight it off. But somebody else may not be in that same position as you. So think about them, and don't, like I say, take heed, because like I say, this is going to pass, just like all these other viruses and stuff. If the Lord's will, it's going to pass. This too shall pass. But like I said, be thankful about other people, not just yourself. But anyway, Freddie calls it. Hope y'all were blessed. And I always say, stay thankful, be safe, and I'll see y'all next go around. You may see another one of these.